Good morning and welcome to this live presentation on Alliance in Motion Global. My name is sethaimkwei. I'm an entrepreneur with Alliance in Motion Global. This morning I'm speaking to you about lessons from GCB Bank's takeover of UT Bank and Capital Bank in Ghana. And I have to say that even though these banks that I'm going to talk about are located in Ghana, the lessons that can be learned from them are not just lessons that are relevant to Ghana and Ghanaians, but they are lessons that are relevant to anybody, anywhere in the world, and to other countries as well. So give me your attention and let's learn vital lessons from this takeover. On Monday, the 14th of August, 2017, we woke up in Ghana to the shocking news that GCB Bank has been mandated or permitted by the Central Bank, which is the Bank of Ghana, to take over UT Bank and Capital Bank. And we were told that all account holders of UT Bank and Capital Bank are now account holders of GCB Bank. And all offices or branches of those banks are now branches of GCB Bank. And all the ATM of the previous banks are now ATMs of GCB Bank. And indeed, some of the signage in some of the offices of the two banks have been changed into GCB Bank. The reason we were given was that the two banks had become financially challenged and deeply insolvent. What that meant was that their liabilities were far more than their assets. And so if their obligations become due, they were not going to be able to meet them. And in order to protect depositors and their funds with them, the Bank of Ghana has instructed Ghana Commercial Bank, or GCB Bank as it is now known, to take over those two banks. Now, the lessons I'm going to learn are not lessons that may be relevant to the bank itself or the owners of the bank, but the lessons I want us to veer our minds to this morning are lessons with respect to the interests of the employees, the financial future of the employees, and the financial future of the families of the employees, especially their children. After that, we have been made aware of some few revelations. One of them is that the GCB Bank is not under any obligation to continue to keep in employment the employees of the two banks. The reason is that this was not a full liquidation, it was a partial liquidation, and it was not like GCB Bank went shopping for banks and these were the banks that agreed to be bought by them. But it is an arrangement the Bank of Ghana went into in order to save the depositors and their deposits. And so it was like Ghana Commercial Bank, in quote, is doing the country a favor by deciding to take over those banks. So it's not a full liquidation and they are not under obligation to keep the employees. Again, we have been made aware that more than 50% of employees of the two banks will be laid off. The few that will be maintained, GCB Bank has indicated it is going to conduct skills assessment in order to determine if the employees will meet the skills requirements they have before they are going to retain those employees. And so the long and the short of it is that a lot of people will go home unemployed as a result of the takeover. Don't forget, this also was revealed that the two banks were given more than 2 years to put their houses in order, which means that they started struggling more than 2 years ago. The employees were not aware. Depositors with the banks were not aware. Last Friday, 11th of August 2007, the employees of the two banks went to bank, believing that they were safe and secured in their employment, believing that they were working with banks that were strong and solid. The next time they were supposed to go to work, they were told their banks had been struggling for more than 2 years and they have now been taken over by a new owner and their jobs are no longer secured. Very, very sad information to get. I remember I made a presentation on lessons from the collapse of Nokia. I also did another presentation on lessons from the collapse of Yahoo. Nokia and Yahoo were very strong in their heydays. They dominated their industry. And the dominance with respect to Nokia was too fantastic. Too fantastic. When Nokia was Nokia, if you put all the phones produced by all the other phone makers in the world together, including Siemens, Motorola, Sony, Ericsson, Apple, phone makers in China, in Japan, in Europe, in America, all the phone makers in the world, if you put their phones that were in use together on one side, and you put Nokia phones alone in use also on one side, there were more Nokia phones in use, more than the thousands of the other companies' phones put together. That was how dominant they were. They collapsed. The reason why we are surprised that UT Bank and Capital Bank have virtually also collapsed was some of the owners, people who are very much respected, people who are known to be teachers and advocates of good management, good leadership, and they have exemplified it by running successful institutions and organizations in their life. When we heard it, we were surprised because when we look at the track record of some of the owners, we were shocked. But the first lesson we must learn is that don't you ever believe that your position will always be permanent if you don't take steps to ensure you become permanent in your position. It happened to Nokia. It happened to Yahoo. Big leaders, but the world changed so fast. Things moved so fast that by the time they came to themselves, they were out. Dominant today, a failure tomorrow. Now my concern is with the employees. Just last Friday, they went to work, they closed, knowing that they had safe and secure jobs. On Monday, they were told their jobs are not secured anymore. The question is, what will happen to their children? I have friends in those banks, and I invited them that as part of their work, they should join network marketing, and I recommended Alliance in Motion Global to them. A lot of them did not join. Now the question is, what is going to be the financial future of themselves and their children? I know people who were in safe and secured employment, something happened in their place of work, like it has happened to UT Bank and Capital Bank, and they lost their jobs within the twinkle of an eye. And in a few weeks and a few months, they had to move from where they were staying to go and rent smaller places to struggle to stay in with their families. They had to take their children out of the schools they were going to less privileged schools. Within a twinkle of an eye, what seemed like security became gone, and people started struggling. Alliance in Motion and network marketing in general has become the safety net for employees, especially if you are an employee. With the global economy struggling, with countries struggling, and in developing countries, some of us go into agreement with institutions like the World Bank and IMF, and some of the conditionalities sometimes is that lay off workers. If you are an employee, especially in government sector in a developing country, you are not safe, you are not secured. Even if you are in a bank or an institution that looks powerful, UT Bank and Capital Bank just last week appeared powerful, not knowing they were struggling. You think you are in safe employment, but for all you know, in the boardroom, things are happening that your future is at risk. You may not know. Get back up for yourself. Back up yourself. I am not doing the AIM Global business full time. I am in full-time employment in a government institution. But when I realized some of the conditionalities the IMF and the World Bank are giving us, I began to be smart and said, let me back up my life. And when I started searching a way of backing up, I realized that network marketing was the best backup for me. I know people who were working in some of institutions that collapsed, and they were not bothered because they were in network marketing. And when you are in network marketing, because people will always be joining day by day, and the income you have is proportional to the people under your network, your income will continue to increase day by day. Your income will increase day by day in network marketing because people will join every day. So when they lost their jobs, they were not bothered because they continued to enjoy increasing income. Back up your life in network marketing. I believe in God. I know you also believe in God. But when God wants to bless you financially, experience has shown me that He does not rain money from heaven, but He brings your way an opportunity, or brings your way somebody who has an opportunity that can help you. I have come to realize in my many years of working with God that sometimes He helps you through an opportunity. And I believe that Alliance in Motion is an opportunity to save people and secure themselves financially in our days now. So I want to encourage you, if you can hear me, join Alliance in Motion, back up yourself. Now we are told that teachers are going to write professional exams in order for them to either be kept or not. I don't know how it's going to be like. I don't know if old teachers will be involved or only new teachers, but that is what we have been told in Ghana. In the days coming, we will really know what is going to happen. But what if existing teachers will also have to justify their inclusion? And what if you don't make it? Are you going to lose your job? And what will happen? Back up your financial future in AIM Global. So the lesson we can learn from the collapse of UT Bank, or not collapse, but the near collapse of UT Bank and Capital Bank is that don't you ever think where you are safe and secure. Back up your life, and back up your life in network marketing, and I will recommend Alliance in Motion Global for you. Start now. Start now. We are here to help you, work with you to succeed in this business. So if you are interested, I want you to get in contact with me, or you can comment below, and we will get back to you and show you how you can join us. Back up your life with AIM Global. It is not even so for just Ghana or Africa or developing countries. I just heard that in India, 7 IT companies are going to lay off 56,000 engineers. In the US, Union Pacific has laid off 500 workers and 250 rail workers. In the US, a developed country. In Scotland, the Royal Bank says it is going to lay off 880 IT specialists by 2020. In Japan, the Japan display is cutting jobs after the first quarter losses. And very soon, they will tell us how many people are going to lose their jobs. Even in developing countries, people are losing their jobs day in, day out, because the global economic crisis is still biting. Back up your life and join Alliance in Motion. Thank you very much for your time. Thank you very much for watching. You are welcome to the wonderful world of Alliance in Motion, where we turn ordinary people into extraordinary millionaires. Thank you and have a nice day.